welcome you all and our elected officials today, Mr. Pownell, Mr. Crow, Mr. Carmichael, I think, stepped out. The first item of business will be the approval of meetings from the February 18th, 2015 meeting. You received a copy of those. Did anybody note any errors or omissions?
No.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the February 18th, 2015 Paulding County Industrial Business Authority meeting minutes.
I have a motion by Mayor Debbie. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Wright. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And I will note that I abstained because I was not present at the meeting. Reports and updates. Report from the West Georgia Joint Development Authority, Mr. Schiff.
We got the report since the last meeting. We do have a meeting next Thursday.
All right. Report from the Chamber, Ms. Wright.
Last week we hosted our industry appreciation breakfast, and Harris Diversified was our industry of the year, and manufacturer of the year was West Cobb Engineering. We did a tour of four of our past recipients the week before with Dr. Newcomb, looking at the workforce needs of our community. And the Chamber is working, the Aerospace Alliance has done so well. We are putting together a healthcare alliance as well as a manufacturers alliance for those businesses here in Paulding.
Thank you. Report from the Executive Director.
We'll start off with the Atlanta Film Studio. Fake Off did wrap shooting about a week and a half ago, so they finished up season 2 of their production and have moved out. They were, again, very, very happy with the facility. They do expect for there to be a season 3, and they are indicating to us that they would like to come back and shoot season 3 at our facility. So nice to have repeat customers. Also, we have a group that's moved in today that's going to be there for 4 days shooting a television commercial. Once they wrap up their television commercial and move out, we have I think 4 holds that are looking at coming in all around 1st of May. So look forward to seeing who's going to be in there next. Moving on to the corporate hangar. The corporate hangar is nearing completion. If we could get some clear weather, we could get done a whole lot quicker, but the rain every other day is making it pretty difficult to try to finish up with the parking lot and things like that. The pump is in. The pump that's used for the fire suppression system is in. Pretty much the interior is about 90% complete. The only things remaining on the interior are a little bit of paint and doors, and that's pretty much it on the interior. The exterior, the only thing that is remaining on the exterior is the paving of the parking lot, striping of the parking lot, landscaping, and finalizing the electronics on the automated gates. So not a whole lot left. We are still waiting on the generator to be delivered, the backup power generator for the fire pump. So hope that will be in sometime in the next couple of weeks. I say this very reservedly, but obviously our goal is to have the corporate hangar available for the air show so that we can utilize it for housing of some of those aircraft that are going to be here during the air show, specifically the snowbirds. Those aircraft are very valuable, as you can imagine, and we would like to have them inside the hangar as opposed to out on the ramp. It's not a necessity, but certainly we would prefer to put them in the hangar as to have them out on the ramp. So goal, again, is to have that facility completed by the time for the air show so that we can house those aircraft. Dallas Industrial Park zoning, I think all of you are aware that zoning went through with the City of Dallas, so the zoning is complete and finished. Now we are asking for proposals from a couple of engineering firms on the design for that parcel within the park. The rest of the park, as you know, it is pretty much designed. There's not really anything left to do with it. But we do want to figure out how to maximize the usage of this additional 10 acres. So waiting on a couple of proposals to come back on the design for that. The Paulding Aerospace Alliance Air Expo. I hope all of you are aware that We did the Air Expo in 2013. We're doing the Air Expo again in 2015. All of the Air Expo, or all of the Paulding Aerospace Alliance companies are going to participate. In addition to the Paulding Aerospace Alliance companies, we have Chattanooga Tech, we have Kennesaw State University, which is also, as most of you probably know, Southern Polytechnic. We have Middle Georgia State College, which is going to be coming up. So we have a number of higher education institutions that are going to be participating in the Air Expo. We're also opening that up to local manufacturers. So if other local manufacturers would like to participate in the Air Expo and be able to just essentially show the public what they do, what they produce, what their capabilities are, then we're inviting other companies to participate as well. 2013, we restricted it to aerospace and aviation companies, but the Air Expo group really wants to see if other companies and entities out there are interested in participating. So they have extended that invitation, and Carolyn, of course, with the Chamber is talking to some of the companies like Interroll and Ronki and some of those others to see whether or not they're interested in participating. So it'd be nice to have some of those companies, especially the ones that are newer, that a lot of people in Paulding County don't know a lot about, don't know what they do. It'd be great to have those guys out there as well. One thing I'll mention is Kennesaw State is supposed to be bringing their UAV, their unmanned vehicle, to the show. So that would be kind of neat to see what they're going to produce there. I think Middle Georgia may also be bringing an unmanned vehicle as well. So that's some pretty interesting technology. Lots of stuff in the news these days about drones and drone activity. So it'll be interesting to see those and be able to ask questions about what they're used for and how they're used. The last thing I have on here is the tour and meeting with Middle Georgia State College. As I mentioned in the Airport Authority meeting, we went down to Hyundai and met with Aiden Clark, the acting dean of Middle Georgia State College, and I might as well mention as of July 1st, it'll be Middle Georgia State University as opposed to Middle Georgia State College. Middle Georgia State University is being tasked by the Board of Regents to be a statewide aviation program. So the Board of Regents has directed Middle Georgia State University to look at expansion opportunities and expansion capability throughout the entire state of Georgia for aviation programs. So that includes everything from aerospace parts manufacturing to EMP repair programs and a whole lot of other stuff. They do air traffic control, they do aviation management, they do a lot of different aviation-based programs. So when we went down on Monday, we didn't just take the Aerospace Alliance members, we also took a representative from Paulding County School System Board of Education. Majoris Perry went down with us. And she is now partnered up with the folks down at Middle Georgia State to work on getting this certification program into one or more of the high schools in Paulding County. So I'm hopeful in the next couple of years we're going to see some aviation career tracks in our high school system, which will be a huge benefit to the kids going through the school system, and as I mentioned earlier, a huge benefit to the local companies to have kids coming out of high school with an aerospace parts manufacturing certification in their pocket where they can walk in the door and know what they're doing. Not a lot of people walking around know very much about carbon fiber bonding and bonding of composites and metals. I know absolutely nothing about it, I just know the terms, but it is some pretty interesting and sophisticated stuff. Just as an example of how sophisticated this technology is, Middle Georgia State is, they are producing many of the components for the next telescope for NASA. They have a pretty large contract to manufacture the composite components for NASA for the James Wiggs telescope. So they actually have students at Middle Georgia State College who are manufacturing parts of the next space telescope, which will replace the Hubble. So that is some pretty interesting stuff, and if a high school kid can't get excited about producing parts that are going into space for the next 25 years, then I'm not sure what they can get excited about. And that's pretty much it on my reports, but unless you have some questions.
All right. Any questions for Blake? Hearing none, the next item is the approval of proposal from Prime Contractors for additional site work for corporate hangar. You have a copy of that proposal. Blake, you want to address the...
Yeah, we've basically got 4 different items of work here that are shown on the proposal, and I'll just run down them very, very quickly. This is a very, very detailed proposal, so you can easily read through it and see what they are. The excavation, the parking lot at the terminal building is requiring some additional excavation. And in a nutshell, it appears as though the slab on the hangar was poured about a foot lower than what the original plans called for. So you ended up with a problem with drainage, with runoff, that the parking lot was higher than the slab. Hate to dig up a bunch of ancient history, but as you'll remember, we had a tremendous number of problems with the slab and the contractor that poured the slab. We ended up suing the contractor who poured the slab and got a determination in our favor on that. So we ultimately didn't pay the contractor who poured the slab because of the poor quality. Well, in addition to the poor quality, apparently his transit didn't work very well either, since the slab is lower than what it should have been. So that's requiring prime contractors to lower the parking lot so that we don't have water running from the parking lot into the building. That's also the reason for the additional storm drain that you see, is in lowering the parking lot, we had to add 4 additional storm drain structures, drop inlets into the parking lot in order to be able to get the water out of the parking lot. We don't have as much slope on the parking lot as what was originally planned. So in order to get that water out of there, we had to add additional structures. The curbing, much of the curbing that was done originally by the original contractor had to be pulled out. There were a couple different reasons for that. One reason is some of it was poured, again, at the wrong elevation, just like the slab was poured at the wrong elevation. Some of it was broken up by other contractors. And I'm not throwing anybody under the bus here, but just as an example, Greystone, when they placed the transformers, pulled over part of the curb and broke it, so that portion has to be replaced. Now, Greystone did write a check for those damages, so they paid for that. So even though it's in here, that cost has been recovered by Greystone. A couple of other incidences like that where contractors pulled over some curb and broke it. Some of them were able to identify who did it and recover that cost. Some other, it just was ran over, nobody knows, and there's no way to figure out who it was. And then lastly, you have some additional concrete, which of course you got to put that curbing back, and some additional asphalt as well. When we put up the temporary fencing around the building, we anchored that fencing in the asphalt, which damaged the asphalt. It was really the only option we had, because if we put it off the asphalt, then we would have had a drop-off. There would have been an issue there that a car could have dropped off the edge of the asphalt and damaged the car. So ultimately, we felt like it was safer to put it in the asphalt and repair the asphalt, as opposed to leave that drop-off there where someone could step off in it or a car could pull off in it. So there's a little bit of cost there associated with that. So I do want to say that when Prime got the original proposal to us, the cost was about almost $45,000. So we went back to Prime and asked them to please work with their contractors and try to whittle these numbers down. So we went from $45,000 down to $31,000. So $31,000 is, in my opinion, the best price that we could possibly get on this work. So Prime worked very, very well with us on that. Any questions up to that address?
All right, you have the proposal. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A motion by Chairman Austin, second by Mayor Debbie. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. All right, next item is a need for an executive session to discuss personnel and real estate. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
Make a motion to go in executive session to discuss personnel and real estate.
I have a motion by Mayor Debbie. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bazzelli. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. I will entertain a motion to go back into regular session with a report from executive session. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
That motion needs to include the fact that we had one item that will require business is on personnel. Is that your motion?
That's my
Mr.
motion.
Shipp and Mr. Pizzelli. I have a motion and a second. Report out of executive session, only one item requiring action and to return to regular session. Is there a motion on personnel item?
I make a motion on the personnel item
You need to explain.
to take that person from a 1099 employee to a W-2 employee.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second by Mr. Shipp. Any discussion? All those in
Effective May
favor?
1st, sorry,
Huh?
effective May 1st.
Right. Is that your second, Mr. Shipp?
That's my second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously, and note the absence of Chairman David Austin. Next item is the citizen wishing to speak. Ms. Kathy Helms to speak on the Dallas Industrial Park zoning. You will take the same spot from before.
I haven't prepared a speech for this, so I just want to make a couple comments. I know this is done, it's a done deal. I like this because this is right down from my office, so it's going to help our business. But I'm a little confused. I have here the zoning application. And on January 15th, 2015, Charles Rand signed the zoning application as the engineer. I just am confused about what the relationship is with Mr. Rand, who was a previous county employee that was given a substantial fund as an exit contract when he left the county employment. And I just wanted to know if this was part of that and what his relationship with the Industrial Building Authority is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Rand has previously done work for the Industrial Building Authority when he was in private employment years ago before working for the county. Once he left service of the county, we've again engaged him to do this specific work.
So he was paid for this work through the Industrial Building
Yes,
Authority?
absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will comment that it was good for the city too, that we eliminated some multifamily zoning and increased the industrial zoning, which connects to you and all through that area, so it will help improve that area. All right, anything else by the members be brought before the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Got a motion by Mr. Shipp, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Pizzelli, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Happy tax day, have a good day. Thank you, we're adjourned.
And I thought, wait a minute.
No.